Dylan is with us in Salt Lake City. Hi, Dylan. How are you?
Good. How are you, Dave? Thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure. What's up?
So my wife and I have been married for 3 years now. And we've been going to school, going to college. She graduated this past May with an engineering degree, and I graduate this upcoming May with an engineering degree. We're 100% debt-free. We made it through college with no student loans. And we've been able to save about $60,000 that we've earmarked for a home. And we're curious as to whether or not now is the time to buy with interest rates so high and with just everything going on in the market, uncertainty. So what's your advice for me or other questions you have?
You're gonna stay in that area?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So you get you get out of school and you're going to take a job, and that's not going to change the real estate decision.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I can believe that. I just wanted to double check. And you have zero debt of any kind, of $60,000 for a down payment.
Zero debt of any kind, $60,000 for a down payment, and about $30,000 in retirement accounts and 2 years funded HSA account.
Good for you. Okay. Well done. Okay. I would buy now, regardless of interest rates. Here's what I don't know 12 to 24 months from now. I don't know what interest rates will be. I do know house prices will have gone up 7 to 8% a year during that time.
Okay.
House prices are continuing to go up and regardless of interest rates, because there continues to be a shortage of housing versus the number of buyers looking. Now, so in other words, the strategy is we can predict that the cost is going to go up, so we might as well get in now. We don't know if rates are going to go down or not, so waiting on them to come down, they might not.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee they're going to come down.
Yeah.
They sat at 6 for a decade before, and then in 2008 they were artificially driven down because of the housing crisis, and the government just straight up manipulated the market and drove the rates all the way down to about 1% there for a minute, and then up to 2, then up to 3, and then back down to 2.5, and then up to 3, and it sat there for a while, and then jumped up just recently, to 6 and 7 again. And everybody's freaking out like that's a high interest rate. But over the scope of history, it's not really a high interest rate. So what I would say is this. We know house prices are going to go up, so let's buy. If interest rates go down, which we don't know, you can always refinance. You're not stuck. But you are stuck with house prices.
Yep.
So buy now.
Okay. Another question for you is, in that case, say we buy in the next 6 months, how much house can we afford? Our income last year was about $80K. We have a baby on the way due early next year, so my wife won't be working as much. But when the baby comes in, I'll be working full time. So that's kind of the projected income is about $80K a year.
Yeah, a fourth of your take-home pay on a 15-year fixed-rate mortgage is our suggestion, and that's going to mean you're probably going to buy less house than you thought you were going to buy before this call. But that's okay. It's your first house. You're in your early 20s. You got time. You're both engineers. You're both working someday. You can easily move up in house later. So, again, I would get into the game. The only thing that's now making me hesitate is I don't know if I'm going to move a pregnant woman in her third trimester. That sounds like a hell on earth to me. I don't think I want to do that.
Yeah.
But you might. I don't know. The further along in the pregnancy she is, the less likely I am to buy until after the baby. So just because it's hard on her. I mean, really, y'all got enough on your plate without dealing with hanging curtains, for God's sakes. So, it's okay to not buy. There's no sin that says you have to buy immediately. But, we were discussing interest rates and prices a minute ago. Now we're talking about your life. So I might wait till after the baby comes. I might wait a year. Just for comfort, There's nothing that says you have to do it now. And you have plenty of time, and you'll both have great careers. You'll both make great incomes. You're going to be debt-free millionaires in your 30s, no matter which of these you do, whether you buy before or after the baby. But a 15-year fixed where the fourth of your take-home pay, is going to the payment, and you'll be right on track. Get that house paid off or move up later on when everybody's back working and all that kind of stuff.
And the other thing, too, is I think he's short changing himself as to what their income could be. I know his wife's going to back off a little bit. He'll be coming out into the market. I think it's very possible if they wait a year that they might find that their income is higher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very possible. Might put you into a different house. If interest rates stay the same and house prices went up 7% during that year, which is probably what's going to happen, the only thing that's really going to push interest rates down that I can see today is the fact that we're going into a presidential election year.
Mm-hmm.
And generally, the sitting party will try to drive rates down to say, look what I did.
That's correct.
And they, and we all know that, well, why weren't you doing that 2 years ago then? It's there's always that. But I don't.
I wouldn't hold your breath because Jerome Powell's gone on record as saying when we've got this inflation rate where it is, and it's still a little higher than they expected when July report came in, and so unemployment's still very, very low. I would expect him to raise it a couple more times.
They're just screwing with it just to prove that.
That's right.
It's not. They're it's a whole nother discussion. They're trying to use a hammer on a Phillips head screwdriver, but they're just because they don't know what the heck they're doing. But it's a disaster. But anyway, all of that to say, I don't know that you're going to see interest rates come down. Mm-hmm. So you just decide in the scope of your life with a baby on the way when we're going to buy.